Welcome back, guys. Crypto for Life channel. Today we'd like to talk about triangles: ascending triangle, descending triangle, and symmetrical triangles. So what's the problem with that type of patterns in trading? Let's dive in. First of all, guys, I'm not a fan of classic TA. Yes, definitely some pattern works sometimes perfectly well and sometimes not. So for me personally, all of that patterns, what we form on the chart, it's absolutely subjective, right? Because someone can find and identify some pattern or some figure, on the 4-hour time frame. But in general, on the daily time frame, it's absolutely totally another picture. That's why I mostly trade liquidity. I mostly trade sessions. For me personally, it's all about the time and a liquidity pool. Anyway, sometimes, yes, these triangles can play out perfectly well. So this is just a visualization, what you can find out. And I always recommend you go to Investopedia. If you get any question for anything about the financial markets, you can go to Investopedia. So it's totally for free. So this is how the 3 triangles looks like. Technically, of course, you can find out in classic books, we form something like this one. So this resistance, this support. And anyway, one day we'll breaking out resistance, liquidate all that stop losses, should retest and going higher. This is how the classic pattern works. And longs, you should open when we test that support line, for example. Or you can open, for example, trade here, like this one. Just hypothetical, right? And take profit will be way higher, depends of next liquidity pool. Or you can open the trade on that breaking out, retest, and on the retest line, you can open once again the long position. Stop loss should be under that last higher lows, that one. So this is what about the classic entry when you trade a classic pattern, right? When you trade the descending triangle, it's absolutely the same story, but in opposite way. So you open position at resistance, stop loss up to your risk management, right? Basically, it should be over the previous low, right? And take profit. Take profit to support. So this is playing out like support, resistance, and then we're breaking out, retest, and going down. And this is symmetrical triangle. What do we trade? So resistance, support, resistance, breaking out, retest, and going higher. Usually, the size, how to identify the size, where to take a profit. This is a symmetrical triangle where we need to take profit. It should be like this one. So the size of the impulse correction. So we form the triangle, and the volatility and the volume at the end of that triangle will be pretty small one. That's why we use that top, that support, and by classic TA, we should use it at the breaking out and retest of that level. We should use that size like take profit line. And of course, guys, all of that triangles you can identify on different time frames. So that's a problem. Sometimes they play now, sometimes not. Million examples. When we trade in an uptrend, for example, and everybody who trade a classic TA trap it in this way. So we're breaking out, just grab some previous stop losses. Everybody open long because they read it in the box. We should pump after that breaking out, going higher, but then make a move like this one. We have to work in a complex. So you can't trade by some geometrical figure, right? To cut all noise, we can use the line chart. So it's cut all weeks, and we can build something similar to triangle. So this is a resistance. So just hypothetical trend line. And this is like support. We build a triangle. When this triangle will breaking out, we don't know. But we start forming something like triangle. Also, you can use the shape tool, this one. Shape, but I personally almost never use it, right? And you can use also the patterns. So this triangle pattern. Let's go back to candles, use the magnet. So for example, I want to add it like starting point A, B, C, D. When we add the last D point, the trading view form first that triangle. I remind you, all of that tools can work perfectly well on a history, but in the moment, just to be honest, we can't know where exactly we'll breaking out that triangle. We'll breaking out like this one and drop it down to sweep that low, or we will make a move like this one and going higher to sweep that high. That's why, guys, all of that triangles, yes, I totally understand. There's a lot of people who trade a classic TA, but on the practice, it's not give you the 100% confident information where will be the next step of that triangle. If it's a triangle on a 5-minute time frame, but maybe it's just a random candles on 15-minute time frame. That's why let's be real. So technically, this triangle should play out down. So we got an impulse starting, forming something like descending triangle or a symmetrical triangle. We count the size of that rejection and support, but we don't know when we will breaking out that top. And we can breaking out down, for example, to this area 155 on this example, or breaking out higher to sweep that high. That's a problem, of that triangles. So we're breaking out that triangle, retest that like support line, going inside that triangle. In this case, everybody start talking this was a fake out. All the time when something going out of a box, you have to call it like a fake out. That's the problem with that classic TA. So we come back inside that triangle, reject again, reject again, reject, 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 breaking out that triangle up. And only after that, we drop it down. Why? Because we just sweep that high. So it's pretty simple. We just walk from liquidity pool to liquidity pool. So that's a deal, guys. Also, you can use the triangle indicator. You just go to indicator, type triangle, and find that triangle pattern. Sometimes that indicator can identify that triangles pretty correct. Here, you turn on, and here it was like triangle and the target. You can go to 30-minute time frame. Here, also playing out perfectly well. So this is all about that in free indicator. So here was a triangle 1, 2, 3, 4, forming that triangle, pump the target, right? And even if we use like this one, so here it's showing us in the moment it was a target. And target moving to the right side. Come back inside that triangle. And that's it. And so technically you can find out, so the size, so around the size of that triangle, yes, playing out perfectly well of that size of resistance and the support from that entry. But of course, it works pretty good on the spot, right? But imagine if you open position here, your stop loss should be under this level, like 3%. Or because if you added like classic 1%, you get a stop loss on retest, or you have to wait the retest. Take a look, example on 4-hour time frame. So this was like triangle based on that indicator, and the target showing us like $88 per soul, but it's not playing out. Let's go to 12-hour time frame. Also, take a look, the classic TA, it's identified like triangle, and basically we have to drop to even $8 again on sol, but it won't happen. Let's go to daily time frame. Also on the daily time frame, we form like crazy big triangle. And now, based on the classic model, we have to dump to $23 per sol. But it won't happen because of seasonality, because of news around the sol or different or another token, and because of liquidity. So a lot of factors which can play out absolutely in different ways. Technically, some people can draw that triangle like this one. 1, 2, 3, 4. But impulse, triangle, pump, depends on where we'll breaking out, it's to 250. So this is a simple way how you can identify triangles and use it. But my personal opinion, all of that triangles is just subjective tool, and it's just some formation which can play out in the both way. That's why you can't trade only by classic TA, only by patterns. Subscribe, channel, hit the like button, hit the notification button. Don't forget to join my Telegram channel. See you next time, guys.